In this video, I want to introduce you to a unique product that will let you repair damaged textured ceilings or walls, or even apply a textured finish to small walls where it's not worth calling in a professional. The product's made by DAP, and it comes in 3 texture varieties. This is the popcorn version here, and that has the most topography to it, so to speak, the most ups and downs. And then we have knockdown, which is a finish that's designed to be lightly troweled immediately after application, so it kind of has texture but also a flat area on the outer surface. And then there's orange peel, which is the least textured of all of them. It's flatter, it has little dimples in it like an orange skin might, and that really covers the whole range of textured wall and ceiling surfaces you're going to find. These products are adjustable too, so you can customize the area of repair to match the existing area if you are doing a repair. And part of the genius of this product is in the spray nozzle. That really adds a lot to it. It can swivel, first of all, but it can tilt as well. And that's important if you're doing a ceiling, because you can't really hold a can like this and expect it to work, because it's going to pick up air when it's lying down like this, and you're not going to get the full value of the product. So you can adjust the angle. And in 2 of the 3 products here, you can also adjust the rate at which the product comes out. So we have fine, medium, and heavy applications. When you're using this, and I'm going to show you on a test panel how it works, when you're using it though, you want to press in the trigger all the way so you have full pressure. Even when you only want to put on a little bit, you're going to control the application rate with the nozzle. There's a little locking tab. You can reuse these, you don't have to use up the whole can, as long as when you finish, you turn it upside down and spray for a little while into a garbage can or something until gases come out and no more product. And then you know the whole thing is clear and you can put it safely away for storage just after wiping off any excess from the nozzle. Now these 3 cans here are water-based, which means they're low odor, really no odor that I've ever smelled by using these things. They're low odor, easy cleanup, and this is the standard lineup. If you look here, you're going to see some sample spraying I did. You're going to want to test this on some sample surfaces first, because to use it effectively, you need to exercise a little artistry. More or less application here and there. If you're doing a repair, you're going to want to keep your eye on the surrounding area. You know, do I have to put it on thicker or thinner? It's going to be a hand-eye kind of thing. So we're definitely going to want to do a test panel like this. And I tried a couple of the different formulations here, so it's a bit of a hodgepodge, but it was just for testing, just to get a sense of how it goes on. When it comes to the knockdown product, which is this one here, you're going to need some sort of a trowel. A 4-inch drywall knife like this works great, because immediately after application, you should go over it quickly and lightly to do that knockdown thing, which is basically putting a smooth-ish surface onto the texture. If that's what you've got, then you're going to need one of these, and you're going to definitely want to do some practice, not just with the spraying, but with the troweling as well. I'm going to put on some gloves when we get to the test sample, safety glasses. Whenever you're spraying anything, it's a good idea, and some rags for cleaning up. If you're using the water-based formulation, having some water on hand makes sense just for cleaning up. If you're going to be spraying this around an area that you don't want to get this stuff on, like windows, doors, things like that, you're going to want to do some masking, you know, with plastic and tape and things like that. But I think we're ready to get going. And one thing, pretty important, and it's easy to miss, is that this stuff needs to be shaken very well. So can you hear that little clanking sound of the marble or the ball bearing or whatever they've got in there, like in spray paint? You want to shake the can for at least 1 minute after you start hearing the marble, because when a can is fresh out of the box or off the shelf, that marble is buried down below. You're not going to hear it for a while until you do some shaking, but you can hear it now. And a minute of shaking like this is the way to go. Now, if the can is new, especially if it's new, just spray to make sure that it's completely homogenized product that comes out first. Not too much liquid or anything like that. When you know that it's working properly, then you can get to the test panel, and then after that you can get to your wall. So for now, let's get a fresh piece of drywall here and I'll show you how it works. So we're fully shaken. I'm going to try the popcorn now. I've got a rag handy for reasons I like to give the nozzle a little bit of a wipe now and then, just to make sure that it keeps atomizing properly. The popcorn doesn't have the variable nozzle because you don't really need it. You just want pretty much maximum the whole time. And just as with spray painting, you don't want to stop while the stuff's still flowing out and then move on, because you're going to have too much in the place where you stopped and turned around. So it's kind of like it's very much like a spray painting move, and it goes like this. Now, you see how I'm building this? I don't have to match anything, but I'm imagining what a popcorn ceiling or wall might look like, and I'm trying to match an area of damage. So I can just going to apply it as if it was the finished product, and that's basically it for the popcorn. We don't need to do anything. It's going to dry, as I said, in about 30 minutes or so, and then it'll be ready for further working if we want to do that. But let's get another piece up here, and I'll show you the other two textures, and you can see how they vary. So I've got the orange peel here. That'll be our next test. There's a tab here you want to pull open because it locks the thing. It locks the trigger when it's in place, and it frees it when it's open. Now this type does have the variable nozzle, and if you come and take a close look here, you can see I'm going to be starting in on the fine setting. You can see it there. There's a little pointer, so that would be medium, and then heavy. I would recommend starting with the fine if you're matching something, because you can always go a little bit coarser, but you want to work up to the coarseness of the surface that you're doing. And shaking, very important. And here we go. Now you can see this is quite a bit different than the popcorn. It's a lot finer. Something like this is handy, not just for repair, not just for decoration, but if you've got some drywall that doesn't look too good, maybe it's rough and it's got some cracks and it wasn't taped very well, this can cover a multitude of sins. It'll hide them quite nicely as it dries. Now this is the knockdown formulation, and I haven't used this can before. Need to give it a bit of a shake, but when you're using it, you're going to want to have your drywall knife handy, because you only have about 30 seconds or so to smooth over before the consistency changes, and it's not going to work as well as it should. So have this handy and your rag. So I'm just going to put on a medium coat, and then just lightly pull this over. Once again, this is where the artistry would come in if you're trying to match an existing situation. I think of all three of these versions, I like this one the best. And of course, if you're matching something, it doesn't really matter what you like. You have to do what's there, but there you have it. So when you're finished up and you still have stuff left in the can, just treat it like a spray paint can. Just put it over a garbage can, spray it, until gases come out, and then you wipe off the nozzle, put the lock back on, and then you're ready to go. So an interesting little product, and I think it can serve a valuable purpose, especially when you've got some damaged texture to deal with. You got the 3 types and different application techniques, so you've got everything you need to do a good job.